All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Rakugo, Season 1, Episode 8.
Yakumo.
Bon, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
We understand why you're doing this, but oh man, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the
Yep.
this is the first big choice that's going to make kind of all the difference. There were a lot of little choices that were made that led up to this, to where this choice made sense.
Yep.
But because of this, there will be bigger choices made in response.
Yeah.
And those choices are going to hurt. This one hurts a lot, but these next ones coming are going to hurt so much more.
Yeah.
Because
this is where the fun begins.
Yeah, this is...
Oh boy.
Miss that. Let them pass between us. Just kind of try to dodge the feels. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. Because it depends on how long they want to draw this out. Because there's a lot they can draw out. It's quite a bit, y'all.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. I guess we know why this is a drama show.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below. And then come back here for the discussion. What I loved about this episode so much is how basically what that huge chunk was just the conversation between Sukeroku and Bon.
Yeah, that conversation was
Kiku-san,
absolutely fantastic.
That conversation was fantastically good. Now, there was a lot of it that was also enveloped within the Miyokichi and Sukeroku conversation bit as well. Now, what we ended up getting from that, it's painful. It's painful.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Let's recap really quick. We have all the drama going on with the three of them. We have the master taking Yakumo on the trip. And then there's the sudden surprise arrival back of them coming, here again as like a
trip's done
or whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, they ended up back home for a little bit at the specific time where there was some dramatic things happening, and it practically was soapy. Like that's how convenient all the crossing of streams were.
And you know what's so great about this? You know what's just so great about this?
Yeah, just tell me, Jacob. What is it?
Is that if he had literally just told her that he was doing this, everything would have been fine, more or less, because the point where she couldn't take anymore was literally the day where he's coming back. Now, granted, the fact that he's going to be breaking up with her and all that stuff, that's a whole other enchilada. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, here's something as someone who has messed up at least one breakup in his life, similar to this, not as this extreme, but direct, open, honest communication that's quick and not drawn out is almost always better. And
doing the thing of, I'll be a jerk so that way they'll it'll push them away. No. That's not acting. That's just being a jerk, right? 2, no, don't do that. They deserve better.
Also, to hit the pride of anyone involved in this, you're a coward.
Yeah.
You're a coward. And that's okay. Just acknowledge that that's what you're dealing with. Now, here's the thing. Is it something that makes sense for these characters?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, our characters our characters here are dealing with some serious problems right now.
And it's boring to read stories about characters that don't make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So
we've got a good drama on our hands. And guys, we're still in season 1. We're still in season 1. And we've got another 4 episodes, in 4 season
5,
1.
something like that.
Double checking here.
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5.
Yeah,
You're
5.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we're 3/5 of the way through.
This is the honey one where I just and it just kind of globs I'm laying it on so thick. The sweet sickening drama, just soapiness is just all over this. And here's another thing. Here's another thing that's really cool about this, right?
Yeah.
We're laying on the foreshadowing even thicker. Like, we're getting into the stuff where we're passing on like tokens of value, of emotional and sentimental weight, gravitas. And we're also having moments of very powerful exchanges happen where one party trivializes it.
Yeah, I know. The
trivializes it.
The level.
This is happening across all the board, like across the board here. This isn't one person particularly that's doing this.
This is how you do something. This is how you do a story where you know how it ends.
Very well.
Because one, we don't know fully how it ends. We just know some details.
Right. That's a good thing to remind.
Two, because we know some of the details of how it ends, they're able to take the drama in here and just take that dial, put it to 10, and then break it right off.
Break our hearts with it.
So
this is a good one. If I was if I was a binging man, this would be the kind of show I would binge literally in a night.
Yeah, one of the things
because it's short enough to where I could do it, but two. Another thing is that this level of character writing and drama is something you don't see often.
And the worst part is the fact that they keep... Okay, because if it was just something where they came to... And a lot of stories will do this, where they'll come to a turning point where it's like, all right, and then for the sake of drama, we need to turn this person into a completely different character, right?
Oh.
You know, and then that kind of a thing, right? And sometimes that can happen in real life where some a switch is flipped inside someone that causes them to do things completely differently. But the fact that, like, say, Sukiroku and Yakumo are still tight, right? They're still tight. They're like they've got each other's backs and stuff. It's like, oh man, like that's just what makes it worse. Well, that's what makes it so much worse.
We can go actually, I would say, a little bit in depth into this with regards to analysis, but there's something to be said for the kinds of conversations where you started off frustrated, angry, impatient, in some ways a little bit, kind of not vengeful, but kind of like, you got this kind of towards a person.
You got a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. And then because of your bond and time spent together, it winds all the way back to a heartfelt connection that is wholesome and even somewhat funny. Like that is a real relationship right there. Because you're gonna deal with that shit. You're gonna have to put up with the fact that people will fail you and stuff. But then when you let out your frustrations with them and such, then you realize how much you care about each other, and you both make little decisions and choices that bring things back to the connection, and therefore you end with something heartfelt, even though there are permanent changes and consequences. Because they're no longer going to be living together.
Nope.
That's a really big deal.
Yep.
Like there's so much we could get from just their conversation in this episode that we could spend like an hour in analyzing that.
Yeah.
Before we go into that too in depth, though, let's cover the Rakugo stuff here that was actually rather important.
Which part?
There's a bit. There's the bit of basically the Rakugo that both Sukiroku and Yakumo were doing that was also just drenched in foreshadowing regarding their future plot lines.
My favorite one, though, is the one later where it's take care that this doesn't go out, because if it does, you're dead. Yeah, like...
Yeah. Then we have everything going with the promotion. What was it called?
The promotion meeting or whatever.
Sunochi.
Shu Unichi or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And that being something that gets given to both of them,
which I was very surprised by.
Yeah, I was.
Which is
very
again
surprised
just
too.
Maintaining tension to be like. To be released at a later point, because because why stop now? We got a good thing going. This is just keeps on going. The roller coaster is still going up, folks.
And then the other bit that I really liked here, and that was I would say specifically Bon, Kiku-san, Yakumo's. kind of declaring in full kind of honesty and clarity for both us at a meta kind of viewer level and then Sukeroku, how he compares Rakugo to Miyokichi. And this is something that I think is good to make sure we are fully aware of.
Right.
Is that Rakugo was something that he was forced into choosing.
Yeah.
But he grew to love it.
And he truly loves it, yeah.
He truly loves it, and is in no small part due to the influences of people like Sukeroku
and Miyokichi even.
And maybe even Miyokichi. But then also, the master.
More Sukeroku.
A lot more Sukeroku.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that where we bring it up now. He is looking at the future, Yakumo. I would say a little bit. So there's some good in that. And he sees himself alone. Oh, and how right he will be. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Then he also looks at the future and goes, I think in the same way that Rakugo was a lie I put myself through in order to have something.
That Miyokichi's a lie he's putting himself through?
Well, yeah, he's identifying the same thing there, but he'd rather not do that for another. Like, he already has one lover, essentially.
Well, and
he already put himself through the lie of liking it and enjoying it specifically so that he could get to this point after so many years.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was lying in that he didn't, like, in that he appreciated the time they spent together. Like, I think he appreciated it.
Oh, yeah, and he said, like, I do love her, but...
Right.
But, yeah.
But,
right. Everything before the word but.
Yeah.
So, you're right. And that's what also makes it so tough, because if it was something where Yakumo truly didn't care for Miyokichi, then it's like, okay, we got to resolve this. We got to make sure
rip the
Band-Aid off, right? But the fact that he's like, I do love her, right? And he's basically trying to figure out the optimal way through this situation. And he's choosing. I mean, there's worse options he could probably choose, but options that he could realistically choose, he's choosing the worst one. Boy, like,
yep.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
He's known this for a while. I think it was all very blatantly foreshadowed in that he was not ever going to take this relationship in a serious way into the future, and they both needed each other. And let's have an honest talk about this. In a lot of ways, Yakumo at the end of all this. I think I now know why. Okay. I'm going to make a prediction here. I think I now know why Yakumo in the future, or in the present day, basically, feels so badly about the whole situation.
Yeah.
And that is, I can encompass it all in one simple thing. And I would say it's a little bit too simple, but this is something I want to hone in on.
Yeah.
I think that when all is said and done, Sukeroku's passed away, died, murdered, whatever. Miyokichi is who knows where, who knows in what state.
Yep.
And he's alone, and all he's got is his Rakugo. I think he's going to look at it as if he used them to make his way into this.
Yeah.
And it was all the way that he used them, all the way into becoming the master of a thing that he didn't even originally have any passion for.
Right.
So it's like he stole their life essence and was a vampire and sucked them dry all the way to the top. Now, here's the thing. All these lies, these specific kind of things that I feel like he's going to have in his head are born from an area of truth.
Right.
An area of truth that is looked at from
that
is looked at from a limited perspective, and because it's being looked at from a limited perspective, he doesn't have any internal thing to check him and go, that's not true. So, therefore, he lives with all this shame and regret, getting better and better at Rakugo. But what ends up happening Rakugo begins to die out.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that were potentially good that could come from the using of them would lead to this conclusion here. So I am really excited about when we come back to the present, basically, because I feel like now I understand why someone would feel so horribly about this. Because I think that unfortunately, a lot of people who come out of a place of need, meaning they're healed out of a place of desperate need where they cling on to anything that can help them get through this time. Any lifeline, exactly. You have the Sukerokus, who are kind of, in some ways, the ones that put upon you because you put upon them. And it becomes that little bit of a cycle thing there. But they have that limitless energy. So they're constantly willing to give because in some ways they know they can do a little things here to kind of push your buttons and get something back. In some ways, Sukeroku, I would say, is too dumb to blame for any of this here. Like, I can tell there were certain things that he did where he kind of knew what he was doing. But in some ways, I haven't gotten to the point of blaming him yet as much. But with looking at Miyokichi as being someone that specifically has dealt with probably just as worse or even worse backstory kind of setup than any of them specifically, of being literally used and then tossed to the side, having this all come to where Yakumo used her and tossed her to the side, and she even kind of knew that was somewhat happening. We find out that her dream was the most wholesome of them all, in that she just wanted a normal relationship. And our boy, Bon, Kiku-san, Yakumo, what have you, all he needed to do was let her know that whatever relationship they'd have wouldn't be a normal one. But in some ways, he's okay kind of needing her. If she's okay knowing that this is the way it's going to be. And you know what? I think she would have had a moment of like trying to be like, no, come on, really? Like, no, really? Oh. And then I think she would go, you know, I kind of always knew that. I kind of suspected as much. And I think I'm okay with I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and that's
that future had a like a not small percent chance of happening.
And in season 2,
and I love that it
since season 2 is probably like, I'm guessing all going to be like present day kind of stuff, you know, after all of this. Kanatsu is going to be the embodiment reminder of that. The idea that this didn't have to happen, right? It didn't have to happen. And you screwed up. I mean, yeah, and like everyone had a part to play.
Yeah, everyone had a part to play. Yeah,
but the idea.
What I love also with this here is that this is just, I would say, the beginning. Still, like we look at where things at. He still hasn't broken up with her. He still hasn't actually like kind of gone and done the. Well, I would say the manly thing and actually addressed her directly. Well, taking responsibility.
Right. Well, here's the other thing. Okay, so
because he can do it in a way that makes him come out in a little bit of a better light. There's some really cool things he can somehow do here.
Yeah, there's also the idea that Kanatsu witnessed, it seems, at least circumstances somewhat of her father's death. She blames him. She had the image of him with the blood on his hands.
Image, yes.
So, assuming that that's not some impressionistic thing, and given that there's 5 episodes left in season 1, that makes a lot of sense, right? They can have, you know, basically...
That's a ridiculous time skip, though. Like, that's a ridiculously huge time skip, though. Like, I know what you're saying, and that makes sense. But even if she was only 5 or something when that happened, that's still a huge time skip.
Not as crazy as you might think, though, because they talked about them being Futatsume or whatever, and mentioned that they've been that rank for 8 years.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, when they were talking about them.
Oh, you're talking about in the past. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. You're not talking about in the present day that they. Yeah. Okay, yes. Keep going. Yeah.
Right. So in a sense, there needs to be a lot of time skips or whatever passages of time that happen, because I'm guessing by the time it comes around to like end of this season, it's going to ideally
you think they'll be the same age, like. Yakumo will see him,
or at least
be that age, basically,
or at least close. Because ideally they wouldn't want to have some 30-year time skip or whatever it would be, right?
Yeah,
they would want to have it transition as seamlessly as possible. Hopefully,
okay. That gives a lot of space, for then Yakumo to admire Sukeroku's Rakugo from through the radio, and why he has all the records and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, I would say, the other thing that's a very definite hint that there's going to be a huge time skip is the idea that what did Sukeroku promise to find new ways to change Rakugo, basically,
right, to adapt to the people,
right? And I think what his thing will be is that his will be distribution, so he becomes insanely popular on the radio,
and it's just everywhere,
and Yakumo is his biggest fanboy, buying every single record, all the things of his Rakugo, and that's why he has it there.
Yeah.
In that he wishes he could be with him, but he's kind of just silently cheering him on from his distance.
Right. They're doing their two-pronged attack. I loved how they talked about that, because it's them both going at it in their own different ways, right? Mm-hmm. It's not them needing to basically say, we need to be identical, we need to be the same, and we'll go at this in the same way. It's no, you got that side of things, I got this side of things.
Right.
Cool. Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to say on this specific topic?
No, I was just saying that that's another definite thing that I just realized. You're right in that there should be a huge time skip, because how does all that Rakugo get produced? That takes time and man hours that wouldn't be just a year.
Right, and they mentioned him being on the radio a lot, so that they've kind of already started that process going.
Right, but I think it would be
it's
way
probably
more than just, the recent stuff. Yeah.
The thing... Okay, to say what hit the hardest, from this episode. One the smallest thing that hit the hardest.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The fan was one of them.
Yeah, the fan was one of them.
But when Yakumo's there all of a sudden, and she's wanting him to get mad.
Oh.
She's wanting him
to.
Yeah. Oh. Because when you love someone, in a lot of ways, any emotion from them is a gift. That can go into some very unhealthy places, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here, and he communicates that, nah, I feel nothing about you. Absolute indifference. That is the absolute worst. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. And the worst part is that after that, he's like, this is my big lie. Yeah. Yeah, no. The look on her face as she's leaving, the look on Sukeroku's face as he's like, what the hell are you doing, bro? And that, yeah, I feel like words are not needed and could not properly communicate the pain of that scene.
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts a lot.
Yeah. Put some more resolve into it. Jeez. That was practically spiteful.
Yeah.
Like there's aspects of Yakumo that I totally understand from him being a more, I would say, cold individual. Like just in general, like he's not as in tune with his emotions as Sukeroku is.
Right.
But he definitely understands a lot of negative emotions.
Yes.
I would say in a lot of ways, because he does Rakugo, he can't help but
Right.
somewhat understand emotion. He has to be able to play act it.
And he does it in his own way for sure, but
it's in moments like this where he sees it as a kindness,
which is just
because he's letting her off so hard. That here's a part that I really hope he doesn't end up doing, is he never has a conversation with her.
No, I don't think he'll have that issue.
Okay, but can I bring up the reason why I thought that out of the blue, basically? Is because what is one of the attributes of Yakumo that is I would say probably the hardest to look at in terms of his character. That it's actually painful to acknowledge. I already said it earlier in the discussion, but...
Well, what do you think it is?
Oh, okay. Because I want to know what yours is, but yeah, just let me know after I say mine. I think it's that he's a coward. And I think that this is probably the most painful thing to look at because it's something where you go, I completely understand why.
Yeah.
But you also look at it and you go...
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how it comes out.
Yeah. For me, it's self-denial.
Oh.
It's self-denial.
I think that's a stronger umbrella term for things where cowardice would go.
And the reason why he turns to a lot of self-denial in a lot of these ways is because of his cowardice, right? But you know,
sure.
Sure. But the idea that basically there are things that he wants, and yet he doesn't allow himself to actually want them. He doesn't allow himself to go after them.
Yeah.
There are paths in front of him that he could so easily take that would result in a better outcome. And not in he needs to see the future in order to know that this would, go better. Right. But just basic stuff, right?
Right.
And he takes certain decisions because he feels like he has to, right? From a place of that basically it has been imposed upon him, and therefore he takes this road, right? That was with Rakugo in the first place, right? It was to survive him breaking up with her. It's because he was told to break up with her, and the way
fear of being let go from the Rakugo scene. That's something I want to bring up here really quickly because I feel like cowardice sounds like more of an insult than an actual kind of character state. What I'm trying to bring up here is that this is a person that is being led by fear, more so than anything else. Which that is a lot of us, I understand. But the difference is that he is aware. There's a certain level of fear that blinds you. In the same way, in kind of the way that love does. But fear, specifically in the survival sense, when you have the awareness of knowing what it is here, I think it's those moments where you think you're being courageous, like what he's saying
really
here,
not.
And you're really not.
You are running with your tail between your legs in the exact opposite direction of where you need to go.
Right, because that's where I'd say that the difference is that there are a lot of us that end up succumbing to fear, and I wouldn't call that cowardice. I would call that being a thing of where you are essentially blind. You don't have the feeling of there being any choices, so you hunker down and just try to survive.
Right.
He's not doing that here. He's trying to rationalize decisions that are tough to make.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not saying they're easy.
Right, but because of that, he's allowing his fear to cause him to lie to himself and to lie to the people around
Self-denial.
him. Self-denial. Yeah, exactly. So, and the thing is that what makes this such a powerful story here, there's many things, right? How could you say it's just one thing? But plenty of stories can have drama. That drama does not necessarily make it a good story. That's why the term melodrama exists. And because with the whole thing of we know how it ends kind of a thing, even though we don't really know how it ends, there's this idea of that this could all be avoided. And yet at the same time, because of how these characters are, it absolutely could not be avoided, right? It's the fatal flaw. It's the Greek tragedy, right? It's all of that. The car crash happening in front of our eyes, and we know it's happening, and we can't look away, but we wish that they would just do something different. And the thing is that there are always points in our lives where we do that. or we do that. And even though we know that we do that, even though we can think on past times where we've done that and try and learn from them, there are still situations where we end up in that same way, where we're still like
stuck in a pattern.
Yeah, we're stuck in a pattern, right? We're trying to solve the problem from within the problem, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And to someone on the outside, they can look at it and say, "What the hell are you doing?" Right? Like even Sukeroku, right? And yet we don't. And yet we don't. Either we won't listen to them or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Because it could be a number of reasons. There's one here where I think what's interesting about say Yakumo specifically is that he is choosing something. And by choosing something, he's not choosing a lot of other things.
Yeah, that's how choices work, right? Like
Now, is he capable potentially of, trying to make a lot more things work than just the one thing?
Choose option C, right?
Yeah, choose option C.
Yeah,
possibly. But it's not guaranteed. That requires a little bit of risk in order to do that. It requires a little bit more effort and courage.
And because he's scared, he takes what he sees as being the sure thing, which is, and can you blame him? Right? There are times where we all do that, right?
Yeah.
And from our perspective as the audience, we can look at him and say, "You idiot! What are you doing?" But we all do this.
Oh yeah.
And it's a part of life. And that's and also from a storytelling perspective, it's just a way to build up to catharsis more. Because all right, cool. We've got a lot of tension here. We're building it up, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Right? To the point that we're gonna go 30 years down the road from here or whatever, to where we can actually get some real positive payoff from it.
Yep.
But that can happen.
Yep.
That can happen.
Yep.
And that's the thing that we hope can happen in our own lives, right? That's why we go to these stories. Because if it was simply seeing the awfulness that happens, right, then we wouldn't go to them as often. Maybe when we were in a very particular mood or something.
Right, that's what soap operas are for.
Yeah, exactly.
Dun, dun,
right.
dun,
But even in soap operas, there's always that idea of having something go right. Now, usually in order to keep the thing going and keeping you staying there.
Nothing can stay right forever.
Right, exactly.
Or nothing can stay right for even a short
immediately
period of
something
time.
else goes wrong and etc. Right?
Yeah.
But in this situation, they're both can be an incredible light at the end of the tunnel. The shadow proves the sunshine, all that stuff, right? Sure. The problem is that because of the mistakes that were made along the way, it is going to come with a cost.
Yep.
It is going to come with a cost. Even if there can be some amazing resolution and between say Konatsu and Yakumo later, and Yakumo's new student and all of that, it won't be something that comes without a whole lot of pain. And that pain won't just go away. It won't be something where we'll be able to be like, all right, that pain was bad, but, we all recovered from it. No. Not everyone's going to recover from it.
Yep.
There's going to be permanent consequences.
That's
just like life.
That's life.
Yeah.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. It was really good. So, if you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, storytelling, what have you. Like Jacob's awesome book that he wrote recently.
Yes, that's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. Very character-driven and all that stuff. And it's available for purchase on Amazon in both hardback and ebook, so whichever works best for you. Links in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.